Chapter 6. The Short-Tempered.
State your name.
Paul Lemberg had served in the United States Army for several years. He was a tall, athletic basketball player in high school. His GPA and athletic skills could have gotten him into a full ride at any Division II college he wanted. It wouldn't have been unrealistic for him to get a partial Division I scholarship, but that didn't matter much to Paul. His thirst for adventure and aggressive nature made the Army's offers too tempting for him to resist. On this day, Paul wasn't proud to write down his military background on the bio sheet required for the demonstration activity. He went into the service expecting to kill bad guys, serve his country, be a hero, and explore the world. His intelligence level meant he was quickly jaded in the Army environment. His clear understanding of his condition while he was there made the 6 years of service in the prime of his life miserable. Ignorance is bliss in the military. Paul Lemberg. His fingertips tapped firmly along the vinyl tabletop. Paul liked challenges, but learned to hate the military. He enjoyed the difficult parts of basic training, but he made for a horrible grunt. His physical prowess was perfect for the job, but he had too many questions that his superior officers couldn't answer. Worse yet, they seemed to never have asked those questions themselves. The more he was around the military, the less respect he had for those stripes on the shoulders of commanding officers. Paul was good at doing work, but he wasn't good at taking orders blindly. When it's your job to do just that for 6 years straight, and you're too stubborn to buy into the system of rank advancement, it's natural to come out a bit cantankerous. Being cantankerous and blunt can make it tough to find a civilian employer. Getting paid $50 for his opinion seemed like the perfect way to spend an hour for Paul.
What did you see, starting from when the door opened in the demonstration room?
Paul didn't blink an eye at this question, though the other subjects were instantly curious. He ran one set of fingertips over the side of his bristly buzz cut and responded in a clear and deliberate voice. A woman named Tracy walked in with a box. She was too perky. Her smile was just as fake as that gaudy name tag, her brown hair, and those bouncy D-cups. Everything about that bitch was fake. Paul rolled his eyes as he continued. She pulled out a squash, a cutting board, a piece of wood, some nails, and a tomato. Then she pulled out this shiny thing that she calls a pound and chop or something like that.
What happened with those things? What were they used for?
Paul snarled at the interruption. He hated when people wasted his time asking him to do things he was about to do anyway, or interrupted him to ask him questions he was about to answer. She broke the heads off a couple of nails and pounded them into the wood. I'm pretty sure it was nailed to the cutting board. Most of us were too busy trying to figure out what use there'd be for a waffle-headed hammer that could pound in nails, and it would be harder than hell to get out because they didn't have heads anymore. Paul was a critical thinker. He always had been, even during his time in the anti-free thought army. He took mild interest in all educational subjects, but no extreme interest in any one, which may have contributed to him not picking a major and going to college. She slices up the vegetables like it's supposed to impress us with the back of the hammer and cleans it off with a rag. I gotta tell you folks, I'm not impressed. Paul chuckled to himself a moment before he continued. Then she chops off the end of a board and files it down with the side of the hammer, which seems like a waste of fucking time to me. If I want a hacksaw, I'll go buy one. Why would anyone want to chop a piece of wood then file it down?
Did anything else happen, Mr. Lemberg?
She thought it was cute to toss the hammer to the slow guy at the end of the table to show off how light it was. She claims it was made of some polycarbon alloy or something that made it rigid but lightweight. I don't see why that's much of a selling point. I'm not going to need a pound and chop when I go camping. I'd rather bring a hatchet that can do the same job as well, if not better.
Please stick to your account of the events, Mr. Lemberg.
Paul's patience was thin now. You know damn well what happened. You were sitting right there watching us on the other side of the mirror. That mirror was built in the wall. It wasn't hung on the wall. You know Tracy pulled up stuff and dumped it in the box and walked away. She didn't even have to tell you she was done because you knew. You were watching. You know exactly what was happening the whole time, so what the hell's the point of asking me? Silence. Paul's tense forearms slowly relaxed as his glare at the intercom gradually faded to a stare as he listened for an answer. A defense or correction, perhaps.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Lemberg. A man will be waiting for you with your stipend outside.